I cannot believe that today I get to interview the woman behind delivering wow, and you are simply wow. I mean, you are so amazing. You got 40,000 fans on Facebook. You're dentistry's biggest rock star that I know of. Maybe you and Delia Tuttle are in a tie. You'll have to, you guys
All
will have to
right.
battle it out. Who's the most awesome, unbelievable woman on in dentistry? You were born and raised in Jamaica, but you went to dental school in Alabama. Is that correct?
I'm actually from New Orleans. So I
Really?
grew up in New Orleans. Yes, I grew up in New Orleans, and I actually went to dental school at UAB. And
Which
while
is
there,
University
I
of Alabama.
actually met my husband, University of Alabama. And while there, I actually met my husband, who was there, who's from Jamaica, and he was training to be an oral surgeon. And so I actually practiced in Birmingham for a while he was doing his residency, and then really he had a strong commitment to come back home to Jamaica. So 10 years ago, we decided to move to Jamaica. So I had a really successful practice in Birmingham and sold the practice. And for the last 10 years, Jamaica's been our home.
Now, pardon my lack of history understanding. New Orleans was a French colony. It was. Is there a French community in Jamaica? Do you speak French?
No, I'm actually, I do have a strong Louisiana heritage and culture, but I have no connections to Jamaica other than my husband, and I'm really happy to be here.
Did you move back just because he promised to pull your wisdom teeth for free?
No, but he actually did this year. So we've been married for quite a while, and this year I decided, you know what, it's time to do it. I'm not getting, I'm not getting any younger, and it's time to clean them. But it's really good. He's one of two oral surgeons in the country, and he's able to really give back. He said there were a lot of oral surgeons doing great things in America, and he wanted to move back home and help his own people. So I said, let's go, and if it doesn't work, we can always move back. But things have been really, really amazing. One thing that I told him is that if I decided to move to Jamaica, that my practice would have to be the same or even better than it was in the States. And it's really happened. So I'm really excited.
So, can I podcast interview him someday?
Sure.
I would love that because getting an oral surgeon to have time to do a podcast, I mean, they're like dental unicorns. I mean, there's non-existence. We only have a couple. Thank God for Jay Resnick on Dental Town. He single-handedly answers almost all the oral surgery questions, and he's just a saint at giving back. And that's what he says. He feels so blessed that he wants to give back and share and answer all these oral surgery questions on Dental Town. But I want to start with the $1 million question because
Right.
I don't know which comes first, the chicken and the egg. Like, for instance, my podcast. The reason I started doing these podcasts is because at 53 years old, I realized that all the dentists, when they got out of school, that committed to 100+ hours of CE every year, they just became stellar practice. And I understand the dentist, and she's married, she has a husband, she has kids, and she and her local study club has one meeting a month, and it's the last Thursday in the month, and it's after work. She needs to do dinner. She's tired, and I thought, you know what? I can give her an hour lecture that she can multitask while she's commuting to work. And then I got so many complaints that I don't do enough podcasts. I started doing two a day, so she has one on her hour commute home. Because I
Right.
think deep down inside, if these people can listen to 100 hours a year of people like you, they'll be successful. But here's my question: when you walk into an office, every dental consultant will tell you that within 1 millisecond, if they smell that energy and wow, it's $1 million practice. So did the wow start with you at birth? I mean, are you genetically hardwired to have high energy, high intelligence, high integrity, or is this something teachable? I mean, can you're right now, you're talking to 7,000 dentists. Most of them are mathematicians, scientists, cellular biologists, and are probably right now daydreaming about how many ATP come out of glucose on the Krebs cycle. Can you convert? Can you take a science-minded person like that and get them to deliver wow?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, you got 1 hour to
Absolutely.
do
And
it. You got 1 hour to do it. You tell me how you can make every dentist one half as wow as you.
well, really, it starts with starts with your vision, and really that's where I start with all dentists or business owners that ask me, how can they have this amazing culture? It starts with your vision, and really, it starts with even before that, the business cycle. And the business cycle says that, as the dentist, you are the owner. And what is it that you want? What is it that you're trying to achieve? And so the business cycle says that the owner really must inspire the team. They must have a vision. They must inspire the team. The team now wows the customers grow the business, and it goes back to the business owner. And really, when you look at your vision, what is it that you want in life? And I mean, I know that people are really into, their crowns and all of this stuff, but I mean, is that really what gives you happiness, really? And for me, what gives me happiness is spending time with my family, spending time with my friends. And what I've learned is that my business is my vehicle to create an income that would allow me to achieve my personal dreams. And creating this culture in my business, where we really look at wowing our customers, making them happy, having amazing engaged team members as well. And that's really what you're working for. So I mean, yes, we deliver amazing dentistry, but it's really more than that.
Well, I mean, everybody knows of a practice doing $1 million a year where the dentistry's horrible. And
Right.
patients don't know if the root canal is good or not. They know if they like you. They know if you listen to them. They know let's get if you want to have an amazing sports team, you need amazing players. Let's
Right.
start with I truly believe that 80% of winning the game is attracting and retaining a great staff. Talk
Right.
about staff. How do you pick staff? Because I know how dentists read the resume. Oh, well, she had a 4.0 in hygiene school and she won the Hugh Freedy Golden Scaler Award, so I will hire her. And then it's like some introvert geek afraid of its own
Right.
shadow. How do you attract and retain and develop a culture of fun people who deliver wow? And by the way, that's the name of your website. You have your dental office is jamaicasmiles.com, but
Right.
her website is deliveringwow.com. So when I keep saying delivering wow, that's the brand I think of when I see your picture, I always think of wow, delivering wow. And so how do you develop this team of wow?
Well, again, it starts with your culture. We put some things in place. We put in our core values, and our core values really are what we stand for, what our company is all about. So a few of our core values are deliver a wow experience every time. And that means that anybody that works for our company knows that really that's our mission. That's what we're there to do. We're there to serve our customers. A few of our other core values are think big, really, really big, and have fun. And we do. We have fun at work. It's a great environment. We all love going to work. We love wowing our customers. A few of our other core values are build stronger communities. And we're really known in our community for giving back. Every month we have a different charity that we donate proceeds from new patient exams to. We're known in our community as really being very charitable and giving back. A few of our other ones are pursue growth and learning. So our team members, when we recruit them, know that that's very, very important to us. We have a lunch and learn every Thursday where we actually close the office. I bring in lunch. And we do different things. And I mean, sometimes we're talking about dental procedures and what we're doing so the team can better understand. Sometimes we're doing scripting. Sometimes we're looking at, how can we better serve our customers? And by having all of these things, these core values in place, any new team member, they know what sort of company that they're going to. And even with the pursue growth and learning, all of my team members have Kindles. And so we have a monthly book club, and we're constantly just trying to get better and better. We know that we're not, at where we can be. We can always stretch our arms up a little bit higher. And it's really, that's the culture of the practice. And also our core values. But in terms of asking your question of how we recruit these people, one, they know what culture that they're going to. And so what's happened now is that because we have this huge social media presence, a lot of people that are really, once we put it, a lot of times we're using social media to post about openings, and people know the culture. People are actually coming to us now that work at other dental offices, and they want to be a part of this really fun and amazing team. They know that, they will be supported, and it's a great community. We give back But one thing that's really interesting, and a lot of dentists are not really aware of this sort of thing, is actually personality profiling. And so what that means actually is that before we create a position, we decide what sort of personality type that person must have. So for example, for my front desk, I have two ladies that are at front. One is really amazing. She has a very outgoing personality. So when the patients walk in, she's like, "Hi, how are you today?" She's, "Can I make you some coffee or tea? Can I get you anything?" She's amazing. She's a connector. And the other lady up front is really very detail oriented. And so she ensures that the ledgers are done correctly and completely. She's the one that responds to all of our patients' emails within the allotted time that we've actually set for her key performance indicators to do so. And so we've personality profiled. And so now anytime we have somebody coming up front, we're not just going to put it out there that we have a job. We actually put it out there. We send out a pre-interview questionnaire that asks questions about, what do you know about our company? What are your goals? Where do you want to be in 5 years? We ask them their desired starting salary, so we can sort of see what they're thinking. And then we give them a quick personality profile test, and it really allows us to see what sort of personality. So if they're a shy person, they're not going to be the right person for that position. So it does not make any sense to really, interview them for that role. But we've also looked at other things, like, for example, in the back, our hygienist is very outgoing. We've also put her with someone who's who is that sensitive, very caring, nurturing type. And that way we have a patient have an amazing experience where she has both the hygienist who's amazing and also the assistant who's very caring and nurturing. So we do that as well. But like I said, it's really the culture and having deliverables. We have systems for everything. All of our team members have manuals, which we've created over time. It didn't happen like that overnight. We've created manuals so they know what they need to do daily, weekly. It's all written down. And really, the overall goal, the number one mission of our practice is to wow our customers.
So my personality is perfect for dental anesthesia because if I talk to a patient, they just fall asleep. They're just so bored and they just pass out and I don't even have to numb them. So I want to ask you a question. Do you think it's more important to motivate your employees daily or to, through HR hiring, find internally motivated people? Again, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Do you think you attracted an internally motivated person who adds to wow? Or do you think you're actually motivating them and making them wow? Or a combination?
Right. I think it comes from both, but really you when you're looking for a team member, you want somebody who's really excited to be there, who believes in, again, what you're trying to deliver. So in my particular practice, our number one goal is to wow our customers, to give them an amazing experience. Some of the things that we've put in is, all of our patients have complimentary arm and hand massages before their procedures. We offer, iPads to take away the sound. We actually make coffee and tea and hot chocolate, and we all have freshly baked plantain tarts. That's our wow. That's what we're known for. And so, having someone who doesn't buy into that culture, they're not going to be a right fit for my team. And that's the bottom line. And, once we started to put in these systems and had our core values, there were some people that, had maybe been with me for a while and they struggled, because they really weren't buying into what we were trying to achieve. But I said, guys, this is where we're going. I have a vision for something really amazing and really big. And if you're going to be part of this team, this is how it's going, how it's going to be from now on. And, I lost maybe one or two people that weren't really committed to the vision, and that's okay. And they're found another practice where they're very happy at, and they're okay with the status quo. But for me, that's just not okay, and that's not what makes us unique, because being unique, of course, sets you apart, and that's what makes you be number one and makes your business grow.
There's some subjects a male can't talk about without being called a sexist. So I want to be very delicate on how I ask this. But I get a lot of, I probably get about 300 questions, emails, texts a day. And so many women dentists tell me, they go, Howard, you don't get it. When you tell a woman employee to do something, they act totally different than when a woman tells them. And they tell me that when these employees were little, their dad would be sitting in the chair and tell his wife, honey, go get me a beer. And she'd run and go get it. And when a male dentist tells her to go get this or get me a cup of coffee or whatever, they just doing that because that's what they grew up with. But when mom tells you to do something, you talk back and you argue and you say, well, why don't you get it? Do you believe that's real, or do you think that's an excuse? And I am in no position to discuss, is there any different issues by being a woman owner, CEO, president of a small business dental office than a male if all your employees are women?
I don't think it matters. You know, to me, it boils down to leadership. And if you are a leader and you say that these are the things that I need, this is what I expect, and these are the deliverables, then they happen. And if you're the leader that allows your team to do what they want to do, then you're going to get that result. And it's, that's the bottom line. I mean, I have a really, like I said, I have a culture of thinking big and having fun. And my team, they're great. They do everything that needs to be done, but they know what needs to be done because we've taken the time to write it down. When they come in as a new team member, they have a position contract and it states everything that they're responsible for. And what I tell them is, guys, once you do your job, there's no reason for me to come back and keep telling you what to do. But they appreciate feedback. We do performance reviews as well. We actually do it every 6 months. And that's really a feedback session. Guys, this is great. This is what you're doing. But these things we really need you to really improve on. And bonuses are based on performance. And so the team knows that once they perform, we do have a bonus system. We have that in place now. And it's based on, on performance and also profitability of the business. And so we're all working as a team to grow the business. And they understand that it's not me, as the big boss at the top. I know I can't achieve this, again, talking about the business cycle before, without an amazing team. And they know that I need them, and I support them, and I support their decisions, but they have to deliver.
Okay, so talk to that 25-year-old little girl who just got out of dental school, opened her practice, and you've been doing this for, decades.
Right.
How does she turn into a leader? Can she be made a leader? Are you born a leader, or are you just born not a leader? And if you can go from a non-leader to a leader, how coach her? How does she go from 25 to you're now, what are you, 29? How do you become a leader? Who taught you how to be a leader?
Some of it is within you, but leaders can be developed. And for me, personal development is huge. So listening to podcasts is huge. I'm also, now following lots of periscopes and periscoping as well. And, just finding any information that you can to grow. I've turned my car into a driving university. I'm always reading a book. One great book on leadership is, The 5 Levels of Leadership by John Maxwell. And that's a great book for someone who really wants to understand leadership, going from being a leader of position. And a lot of these young dentists, that's where they are now. They feel like, okay, these assistants need to follow me, especially if you're an associate, right? These dentists need to follow me because I'm the doctor, I'm the boss, And so going and transforming from that level of leadership to the point of leadership where people follow you because they respect you, and then they follow you for what you've done for them, and then what they've seen you do for others. And eventually, you can become and grow that leader that you train, and develop other leaders. And that's really the ultimate goal. And once you get there, things become very easy for you.
By the way, you said you have a monthly book club with your staff on Kindle.
Right.
Last night or yesterday, my book, Uncomplicate Business. You only manage 3 things: people, time, money. Made #1 on Amazon.
Awesome.
Under dental business. I'm proud of that. I'm gloating.
Congrats.
Yeah, I hope your team reads that on the Kindle books. And by the way, you have to make us an online CE course called Delivering Wow, because those we put up 350 courses. They've been viewed over 500,000 times from every country on earth. And I'm going to make it a personal mission of mine to get your message out, because it's important for 2 reasons. Number one, you're the #1 delivering wow I know. I mean, you just are. Your karma jumps out of Twitter and Facebook and your website, and I mean, you just, every post, every tweet I see is just, you just exude energy. And when I was in dental school, it was an all male profession, And now half the graduating class every year is women, and they need women role model leaders. They don't want to listen to a bunch of old, fat, bald guys. They want to listen to rocking, amazing women like you. So, you said a couple of things that made all the old guys in America cringe. You called a patient a customer,
Right.
and you talked about a bonus system. I mean, what is this, a business? So I want you to talk about specifically, how does a bonus system work? Well, first of all, let's take a step back. Do you think a bonus system is necessary? Do you think it works? And what exactly is your bonus system?
Right. I don't think you have to have a bonus system, and you can get results without it. And I tell you, the culture of our practice, the team will perform with or without a bonus. And this is something that we have just put in place, like maybe the last 6 months, really. And it's just because I wanted to reward my team. They're actually the ones that are doing all of the work now. So I sit back. It's really interesting. I sit back there now, and I walk past, and I see them, giving the patients tours of the office, and I see them offering and giving them a hand massage, and I see them wowing the customers. And so I want to share it with them. So it's really just, my decision of really, but it's not something that I feel that has to be done, because what happens is you don't want it to be something that's expected. But to me, it's also, it is, we are running a business. We're running a business. And so for me, there are certain things that we look at. For example, I have one of my ladies, and who's responsible for ordering dental supplies. And one thing that we recently did is we really are looking at decreasing our overhead. Right now we're at 60% overhead, and my goal is to get that down. I know I'm a general office and we do lots of crown and bridge, but I want that down, to at least 50%. So we're looking at a lot of our expenses, and part of her job was actually to go and look at different suppliers, and really we're sort of negotiating and putting them against each other and saying, okay, well, this supplier is giving us this, can you match that price? And what I told her, she has a budget. She has a budget for supplies, and so it's consistent every month. And by her actually doing these negotiations, we're able to lower our overhead and our margins, and it really makes us more profitable. And I said, listen, if you can go under budget, that's ideal, because that goes to profit. And we only give bonus based on profit. It's not, a lot of dentists talk about production and in collection, which is great. But at the end of the day, it's really, in terms of the business, it's about what you get to keep, and that's profit. And so if you're giving bonus, you should never be giving bonus on, a certain amount of revenue, especially if you don't know what your expenses are. So that's where the business part comes in.
And what do you think supplies should be? I mean, what were your supplies as a percent of revenue, and what percent do you think is achievable?
Right. So we were at about 8%, and we're really trying to get that down to 5%. And a lot of it has to do too with knowing your inventory as well. So we have a system where we actually have minimum reorder list as well, and we do inventory every month, so we know where we are. And again, this is not me. This is my amazing team that's doing these things for me. Everybody's doing a task, and we're really, really productive, and we're getting these results. So it's really quite amazing.
And where are you buying your supplies? Is it from a local human rep, or is it more online on the internet?
Right. So we actually do a combination of both. We order some supplies here. I'm actually in Jamaica, so we order some supplies here from local suppliers, and we also order from the United States from some bigger name suppliers. And we're also getting into the online space, and so, there are some online companies that are offering significant savings. So the thing is that if you don't really look for it, you're not going to see that there's so much.
Can you name any specifics online with the companies? Because
right. So
even the Jamaican ones, because I was looking at Jamaican downloads on our podcast, it's pretty huge.
Right. So in Jamaica, there are a few. There is actually a local Ultradent rep, and that company is Cornwall Distributors. They're out of Montego Bay. And there's Optimum Trading, which is in Kingston, and they work a lot with Henry Schein. But because I've been practicing actually for 16 years, I have a long-term relationship with Henry Schein from when I had my practice in the States. So I still do lots of orders for them. I'm really big into Ultradent. So I order directly actually from Ultradent, from Utah. But we've been looking into the online space as well. Like I said, Staffco is one that we've looked at. There's some different buying groups as well. So there are different options, but the thing is that sometimes it doesn't mean that you have to change. Sometimes you can go to your original supplier and say, listen, can you just, I've been a long time customer, and you can negotiate and say, can I, I want to stay with you, but, your prices are really too high. And, I've known dentists that have been able to make that call to their supplier, and just like that, they drop their supply costs by 20%. And so that 20% savings can go into some other area of your business to help it grow, like your marketing, your social media marketing budget, and those sort of things. Or it can go to the business owner in your own pocket, or it can go to support your team for their bonus. So there are lots of ways that you can put that savings.
Am I pronouncing is your name pronounced Anissa?
It is.
Like Vanessa with an A? Anissa?
It's like Anissa, kind of like Melissa. Anissa.
Melissa, like Anissa. Okay, Anissa,
Anissa.
like Melissa. Okay, I want to ask another question to you very specifically. I get this a lot by young women who just graduated. They say, I just walked out of school with $250,000 in student loans. If I want to deliver wow, do I got to double down on my debt and buy a $150,000 CAD cam and a $75,000 BioLace and a $100,000 CBCT? Do I need to drop another 300,000 so I can be like Anissa and be crushing it and rocking it in Jamaica?
Absolutely not. And that's the most interesting thing, because a lot of people, even patients, a lot of them think, this practice is very expensive. But the thing about it is that giving good service doesn't cost. It doesn't cost a thing. And so, having amazing systems in place, on Facebook, responding immediately when somebody asks a question, that doesn't cost anything. Having somebody come in and you actually make them coffee or tea. We also serve plantain tarts. I mean, our budget for that is like $30 a month. It really doesn't cost anything. We put perfume in our bathrooms, and lotions. That costs really nothing. We bought some iPads, and even with that, if you don't have a lot of money, you can buy a used one on eBay, So we put that in place. With the biggest wow, though, that's made the hugest difference is the complimentary arm and hand massages. And so what I did was I actually sent all of my dental assistants to become certified in massage therapy. So I made that investment in them. And now we offer this as a complimentary service. And I'm not paying for a massage therapist. All of my dental assistants do this. And they did, basically it was like a 25-hour course. So they did it amongst a few Fridays. And now we deliver this. So this really doesn't cost anything. Patients don't care about what type of chair that they're sitting in, if it's name brand. They really don't even care about the quality of the hand pieces. They care about, how you make them feel. And to me, that's really the most important thing. And so, in my practice, I don't have CAD CAM. I mean, I'm in an island that costs a fair bit of money to import these things. But our practice is really growing. I mean, even on a small island, we consistently have 150 new patients a month, which is crazy. And it's really because of this wow, and also the guarantee that we give our patients as well.
And what is your guarantee?
Right. So, this is really interesting because really, and I think this really applies to all dentists. Finding out what your customers want. And this is what happened in my practice. And I think this really relates to other dentists. We know that our customers, by asking them, what is it that's most important to you? We've asked our Facebook community, we've sent out surveys, and it's number one, they want to be seen on time. They want to be seen on time. People don't want to come and sit forever. We have lots of executives, they want to get in and out. So we actually, because we now have systems in place, we're able to offer an on-time guarantee. We have an on-time guarantee. So if patients are not seen within 15 minutes of their appointment time, their next exam is free. And guess what? There are times that we run behind, right? Every dental office does, but it's respecting your customers. So what that means is that if we see that we're running behind, we call them and say, hey, doc is running a little bit late. Can you come at this time instead? And they really appreciate that. So we have an on-time guarantee. The second thing that we offer is that our patients will have quality and consistency in their dental work. Their fillings will look natural, it will be long lasting, and that's really important for some people as well. Some people have a lot of time, maybe they're retired, and the most important thing to them is having a denture that fits. Or the most important thing to them, a bride that's getting married is having a beautiful smile. And so she'll wait forever to see you. But the most important thing is that the quality at the end of the day has to be consistent, and it has to be long lasting and give you peace of mind. So that's the second thing, part of our guarantee. And the third is that every patient will have a wow experience every time. And those are our 3-point guarantees. And that wow experience really speaks to people who are very fearful. And we all know many people, many people are afraid to go to the dentist. So if you can offer a guarantee that they will have an amazing experience, it's just going to grow your business, and it will set you apart and make you very unique.
Okay, for reading comprehension purposes, you said it's your 3-part guarantee. Succinctly say them again. If we don't see you for your dental appointment within 15 minutes, your next exam is free. Did I say that right?
Right.
And
Yes.
what was number 2?
Number 2 is that we guarantee quality and consistency of your dental work. So your fillings will be strong, they will look natural, and they will be long lasting.
Quality and what?
And the third thing, quality and consistency of your dental work. So your dental work will look natural, it will be strong, and it will be long lasting. So people want peace of mind.
It will look natural, be strong,
and will be long lasting.
You're so neat. You think so much outside the box. And what was number 3?
Number 3 is that you'd have a wow experience every time.
I can't imagine anybody not having a wow experience in your office. I mean, like I say, every time I see you, you just feel it. It just jumps out of the screen. I mean, and then, okay, so here's another thing you do that makes the old farts cringe. You actually have a whiteboard, and you actually are you measure numbers and finance, and you share with your staff. So Anissa, Melissa with an A. So Melissa, Anissa, the problem that my homies have back home here is that they keep all that a secret. Like, they'll be coughing up blood clots because their overhead is so high. And then I'll go talk to their staff. Do you think our overhead is high or medium or low? I don't know. What do we have to do to break even? I don't know. And then I go back to this. I say, your whole team loves you. They respect you. They adore you, but you don't give them any numbers. They have no idea you're back here coughing up blood clots and can't make payroll on Friday. So they're hardwired at birth not to be transparent. Why are you and I so transparent and an open book with all your employees and share these numbers and put them on grease boards, and 95 or to 98% of every office I walk into, not one person in the staff can tell me one number?
Right.
Why is that?
What's really interesting is that most times, the team actually thinks you're making more money than you actually are, which is quite interesting. But, one thing that I did with my team when I started this whole journey of transforming my practice is that I actually told them my story. I told them my story and my dream of why I became a dentist and what it took for me to get there. So the many hours that I spent when friends were out partying, I was studying, and the amounts of money that I had to sacrifice and save for, and I worked 3 jobs in college to put myself through college. And I told them my story.
Tell us your story. Tell us your story.
Right. Well, the thing about it is that what I share with them is that, and everybody has a story. I came from a family of very, humble beginnings. My parents, my father was, his first generation college graduate. And, he said, I don't have a lot of money, but, if you work really hard, you can achieve all of your goals, and so that's basically what I did, lots of encouragement. Like I said, in college, I worked 3 jobs, to put myself through school, and I came out with no debt. And I also, I had some scholarships for dental school, but, I had a big vision and a big dream to give back, and I really had a passion for dentistry. And so, I have grown this successful practice, and my vision is to continue to give back and to make a difference, and for me, having a, a business that is a profitable business, that is a successful business, that's what allows me to give back even more. And if I didn't have a successful business, I couldn't help other people. And so, I have no problem sharing things with my team, and they have really stood behind me and supported me, and they want to see me become successful. And again, this comes back to your vision, and their vision, is also to support their families. And the business is really how they achieve their personal dreams as well. And so us all working together, we all can achieve our goals that we want to achieve. And, we do have some numbers and, and percentages, but, one thing for people, if they're not comfortable sharing numbers, you don't have to share numbers, but you have to know your numbers. You have to know your margins. You have to look at things every month, because that allows you to plan. You have to know what your expenses are. You have to know if you're profitable. And it's more than just, oh, I have cash in a bank, so I'm okay. It's not about that, because perhaps the supplier didn't send you a bill for 2 months, and all of a sudden you get hit with this big bill and you don't realize it's coming, because you're not really looking at your cash flow. You can't plan to buy more equipment. But one tool that we use to talk about whiteboards, and how we use whiteboards is really interesting, and I'll just share a little story. So what we did was, I actually have a budget, and in my budget not only lists my expenses, but my budget lists how I'm going to achieve my goals. So every year I set a revenue goal. I set that goal of what I want to achieve for my business. It is a business, and I want it to be profitable, again, so we can continue to grow and touch many more lives. And so what we did was, I created, a list of services, and this was based on the last 3 months in the last year. And I said, okay, the last 3 months, this was our revenue for cleanings. This was our revenue for sealants. This was our revenue for crown and bridge, right? And then I said, okay, well, how much do we charge for that? Okay, so on average, we did, 25 crowns a month, or we did, 100 cleanings, or whatever the number was, right? And so based on that, what I said was, okay, for me to reach my revenue goal, how many of these would we have to do? And that's what we track on our whiteboard. And so we're not tracking like, okay, we have to do, $10,000 today, or $1,000 today, or $3,000 today. We're tracking by procedures, and it becomes fun. It's like a game with my team. And so what happens is that I actually say to them, okay, we need to do 200 cleanings. We need to do however many sealants. And every day we actually track. We have in our practice management software, we prepare a report, and my office manager actually updates the list. So we have all of our targets. And every day she updates, so we see where we are. And maybe at the middle of the month we realize, okay, we are kind of falling short on crowns this month. And then what will happen is that perhaps we'll do a newsletter to our patients, an educational piece on crowns, or maybe we'll offer a promotion on Facebook. For this month, if you schedule before the end of the month, you'll get a certain amount off your crowns. And by doing this, we actually achieve our goals. What we realize is we are not diagnosing anything new, right? So we're not saying, okay, well, we have a goal to do 30 crowns. Every patient that comes in, I need to tell them they need a crown. It's definitely not about that, right? What it's about is really just having systems. And so perhaps that day that you're tired and you're not feeling like doing that extra crown, and you have time, you say, you know what, we have a goal this month, so I'm going to do the crown. Or maybe your team is now committed to that goal, so they're going to work through lunch, they're going to stay late, they're going to do what it takes. Perhaps a new patient calling on a phone that wants to know about a crown, the person on the phone is going to make sure they take time to educate the new potential new patient about the amazing crowns that you do in your office, and maybe why your office is different and why they should come to you. So it's these systems of how you get to that number. And it's interesting, the first month we did this, we actually met all of our goals except for one, and it was sealants, right? And so my hygienist was like, Dr. Holmes, it's way too high, there's no way. And I was like, there's no way, I'm actually going to double it, and we're going to meet it. And we did. So it was really cool, and it's become like a little game. And every month, now the team is saying, no, we can't do this amount, we can do this amount. And they're actually setting the goals for me. So that's really cool.
So describe your team. Do you have an associate? How many hygienists do you have? What is an ideal team? Because I mean, to see you're seeing 100 to 150 to 300 patients in a month. How big of a facility, and describe your logistics?
Right. So originally, my first office that I opened in Jamaica was very tiny. We only had 800 square feet, right? And I started with 3 team members, and that was just a few years ago, really, starting my new office again. I was an independent contractor for 5 years with another well-established dentist, and then I said, we're not leaving Jamaica, so I started my practice again. And we started with 3 team members. And then I said, guys, I have a vision for something really amazing and huge. So we actually outgrew that space. So right now we're in a 2,500 square foot facility. I have an associate, and the plan is actually to have her to buy in as a partner with fractional ownership, which is something we can talk about on a whole different day. In terms of how dentists transition out now, or how they can better transition out. But I have an associate now. I'm looking at bringing in another dentist just to handle the volume that's coming out in January. I have one full-time hygienist, and 2 other hygienists as well. And all of us have assistants. So we have a fair bit of assistants, and that's why we're able to deliver on the wows. That's why every patient can get a hand and arm massage. Our hygienists are assisted as well with dental assistance.
So explain the details of the arm and hand massage. Is this something that every patient gets the first couple minutes of every appointment, or how's that work?
Right. So what happens with the hand and arm massage is that for cleaning patients, this is how it works. So a new patient, for example, they come in, we offer them to make them coffee or tea. When we are ready for them, which is basically right away because we don't really make people wait, we give them an office tour. So they see the office tour. In the office tour, we actually point out our core values to them, and we let them know what our practice is about. We also show them sterilization because for some patients, that's their hot button, making sure that everything is clean. We point out our technology. We do have the intraoral cameras in all of the rooms and the nomad X-ray and all of that stuff. So we point that out as well. And then we have them come in. So then we actually take before pictures of all of our patients before they're cleaning their teeth so that they can see where they're starting out, and we do our X-rays. And then after we do that, then we actually offer every patient, would you like to have a complimentary arm and hand massage to relax you before your appointment? It's just a 5-minute thing, but what happens is we set up the headphones and we do that service for them. And then they have their procedure done. So it's really, really amazing. Like I said, we have assisted hygiene. My hygienist is super productive. She actually has blocks of 30-minute slots. Now, the patient is not there for 30 minutes. So while all of this is going on, she's actually in the other room with another assistant actually doing her work. So once she's finished, she comes in and she just slots right in and she does her hygiene. And so the patient may be there, for an hour, including the check that I do. But the patient has an amazing experience, and we just work it in. And in terms of the dental procedures, how we work it in is once a patient comes in and we numb them, there's normally a 5-minute waiting period, right, before you can actually start your procedure. So it's during that process that we actually set up the music for the patients to relax them, get them ready for their appointment. We use TuneIn Radio, so it's a free internet streaming site, and they choose our music and we offer their massage. So it allows them to really relax. And we have found people who are super, super petrified that at the end of the appointment, they're hugging us because they're so relaxed and they can't believe how amazing their dental appointment was.
Whenever I hug a patient, they always ask me, when was the last time I showered? And I tried using the perfume cologne like you recommended, but hey, I want to give you a secret about speaking, because I really think dentistry, everyone needs to hear you. There's 250 societies in America that pick speakers, and it's all volunteers. So they'll be saying, okay, we need 3 volunteers to pick the speakers for next year's quarterly and annual meeting. And then 3 geeks raise their hand. They say, okay, you find one on endo, you find one on practice management. And they don't know who to get because they're always told, don't get this one we had any of the last couple of years. Get someone new and fresh. So they go to Dental Town, where every one of those courses is only an hour, and they'll say, okay, I'm supposed to pick someone in endo. And they'll watch 6 different guys for an hour. I know a guy who put up an 1-hour endo course and got booked 76 invitationals and everyone said, "Oh yeah, I watched your tour." You put up, you're delivering wow, and you're going to be turning down speaking gigs, because you're truly amazing.
Thank you.
I want to throw, they say, I believe that success comes to those who are able to ask uncomfortable questions. And I don't mean to insult you at all, but most dentists tell me that Facebook is a waste of time, and that if you want to build your dental practice, delete your Facebook account and go back in the operatory and start drilling and filling in teeth. And I'm just told all the time, well, we put up a Facebook page and I can't name any single person that came in from Facebook. And it's just basically a waste of time. But you claim it's not a waste of time. So
No.
why do all my 50-year-old half dead dinosaur friends believe it's a waste of time, and why is it working for you? What makes it work and not work? And I see you not just on Facebook, I see you on Twitter too. What social medias
Right.
are you on, and can you really honestly say that you can track this new patient actually came from my efforts on Facebook?
Absolutely. So, in my dental practice, we have a huge following on Facebook. We have actually now it's over 44,000 people that are following the Facebook page, and it's huge. It's huge. 40%, and we track. We know where all of our leads are coming from, or all of our new
But
customers
is
are.
that just because you're? But is that just because you're gorgeous? I mean, my mother told me I had a face for radio. If they, if they saw my face, they might be deleting, blocking me. Do you think a short, fat, bald dentist would have the same success as a
Absolutely.
movie star face like yours?
Absolutely, and it really comes to the content that you're sharing. And I mean, Howard, you know this. Once you can provide value, you're going to have followers, And so we provide a lot of value. We speak a lot, also, and that's dental value. What services that we're offering before and after pictures. So that speaks to the quality and consistency. But a lot of what we really share is really our culture. They see us, giving back to the community. They see us having fun. I mean, we recently had a 30-day flossing challenge, and my team actually did a silly video to some soca song, floss like a boss, and they're dancing, and they're having fun.
Oh,
And the thing about it is
email
that,
me that video,
yeah,
and I'll post it on Dental Town. Then I'll push it out on my social media. Have you ever posted on Dental Town? I know you're a member since 2007, but have you ever posted yet?
right. So I'm blogging on Dental Town now, and I'm actually on some of the threads, some social media and practice management threads, and really looking forward to doing a lot more.
Well,
Yeah.
post that video, because if it's on YouTube, when you can share a link, but you can click share and then embed. And if you drop that,
Right.
go to Delta, you drop that embed. There's a YouTube logo above the
Okay.
post,
Cool.
and you click that and you drop the embed, and then the video is posted on Dental Town, and that'll hit 200,000 dentists, and I'll put on my Facebook, Twitter, and all that stuff. So what is your Facebook page? Is that what is your how would this listener find your Facebook page?
Right. So I do have two different areas. My dental practice is Jamaica Cosmetic Dental Services. So my dental practice's Facebook page is facebook.com/, Jamaica Smiles, with
Jamaica
an S, Jamaica Smiles.
Jamaica Smile Jamaica, and Jamaica Jamaica.
Right.
Jamaica
Jamaica
Smiles.
dot com. And the thing about it
That's
is
your
really
dental
going
office.
right.
Is there a different
That's my
Facebook page for dentist?
right. So my dental office page, and so we have that Facebook, and we also are really big on Instagram, which is JCDS Smiles, for Jamaica Cosmetic Dental Services. So it's JCDS Smiles, and that's my Instagram. And it's really interesting because Instagram and Twitter have a really different target. So Facebook, if you're trying to target, the 35, the 30 to 50-year-old patients, a lot of them are really, they're hanging out on Facebook. People check their Facebook accounts. Most times, many people are checking it 4 times a day. And I mean, the great thing about Facebook is that, it's really targeted. And so why it's made a difference for us is that we have an amazing ROI, an amazing return on investment. And so you know, because we're sharing all of this stuff and we're targeting posts. So I'll give you an example. We wanted to share a post and a promotion about teeth whitening, right? And so what we did was we created a post and we targeted to women between the ages of 18 and 35 years old who were engaged. And we allowed that post to be seen in the feeds of those people that met those criteria on Facebook. And we offered a teeth whitening promotion, you know, 50% off teeth whitening. And teeth whitening is something that, it doesn't really, it has high margins. It really doesn't cost a whole lot to do. And it's really a great introduction to the office. And so we offered that, and we typically see 2 or 3 whitenings a day, and that's an ongoing, promotion that we have going on. And you can be very targeted. So a lot of people, do things like, and I mean, I don't mean to really, go against Yellow Pages, but I mean, you really need to test and measure. I mean, when was the last time you actually read or picked up a physical book of the Yellow Pages? I mean, people are just not doing that anymore. So to spend, $700 or $1,000 on a Yellow Pages ad and hope somebody flips through, or spending a lot of money on, for me, I'll just say I tested and measured, and that's why I'm able to speak to this. Spending a lot of money on a newspaper ad that people may look at, when there's so many things that are looking to attract their eye, maybe you won't have the same return. And so what we have done by testing and measuring is that every time we have a new patient, we ask them, how did you hear about us? And like I said, we have 40% now coming from Facebook. And I mean, that's basically, at least based on our new patient numbers, 40 or 50 people that are coming. And when they come, they know about us. They know our culture. They've been to my website. My website for my office is jamaicasmiles.com. They've been to our website. They know all about us. They know about our team. They know that we will be wild. They've seen our before and after pictures, and they're ready. They're ready to actually come in and start their work. And so they're very connected. So it's like word of mouth. A lot of dentists talk about, oh, word of mouth is the best. But it's so amazing, because what happens is that, I get tagged in posts all the time. And people's social media, somebody's saying, where can I find a good dentist? And they're tagging my practices page, and we're finding people, or people are finding us by word of mouth that way. So social media is like, word of mouth on steroids. And what happens is that, as a dentist, again, we spoke about this, as a dentist, you don't have to do everything. As a business owner, you get to decide what you want to do and what you don't want to do. And, social media doesn't have to be your thing. Your thing can be, cutting crown preps all day or doing extractions. But it's really important that you have somebody on your team who's amazing that can get these things done, because these are strategies that you don't have to pay a lot of money for. I mean, I have, like I said, over 150 new patients a month, and my marketing budget is $500 a month. And that's just going to my Facebook, and that's really, it's quite amazing.
Huh. The only thing I've really mastered is snacking in between meals. That's my only accomplishment so far. But hey, what is the culture of Facebook? If one of my listeners went to facebook.com/Jamaica Smiles and they like what you were doing, is it
Right.
rude and evil to steal that idea from you
No,
and then post
absolutely.
it on their Facebook page? Or
No, absolutely. I mean, the thing about it is that we do have a lot of people that are following us now, and to me, it's just really a compliment. It means that we're doing something right. So, I encourage dentists to follow us. One thing that you'll notice is that we have a lot of interaction with our Facebook fans. And again, this is not me. This is my team. I have somebody, and her job is every hour to log into Facebook, and we have, at any time we'll have five or six questions coming in about, can you, how much does a crown cost, or can you tell me more about an implant? And now what's really cool about Facebook is you can actually go ahead and customize these things, and you can save the customized responses, which can have a YouTube video in it about the procedure. So you can do 2 clicks and you can respond really quickly. But we're very responsive, and people see that, and they know that if we can be responsive to them on social media, just imagine what happens when they're in our practice. So that's really cool.
so what? If you said 40% Facebook, go through the next social medias on most importance to least importance. I mean, you can only manage people, time, and money. What go through other ones that are worth your time and effort, and
Right.
why?
So it really depends on your goals, right? So for my dental practice, Facebook is huge. because really, my goals are to share, our culture. Our goals are to share, pictures of before and after work that were done. We also do a lot of promotions. This is really interesting too. There have been times when we have, say a patient calls you at 8 o'clock in the morning and they're like, okay, well, I'm canceling 2 appointments, one for me and my child for a cleaning. We'll put a Facebook promotion up. It says, the first, and we'll boost it. So it gets into a lot of feeds. The first 3 people to call get a 50% off cleaning. And I mean, in like 10 minutes, they're filled, So we use social media as a way also to really, bring in new patients when those sort of things happen, and it happens, to all of us. So Facebook is huge. I think Instagram is another really huge one, and Instagram tends to have a little bit different target. What I have known, what I've seen, and what I've read also is that it tends to be more affluent people actually. So if we're promoting teeth whitening or cosmetic dentistry, we're more on Instagram, whereas if we're promoting, more general services and promotions for cleanings, we're on Facebook. Instagram tends to have a younger target audience. We're also on Twitter, and there is a fair bit of interaction that goes on Twitter. But if you're going to choose 2, I think that Instagram and Facebook are big. We're also on Google Plus. We have Pinterest. We're on all of the social media channels. But we are a very social practice, and so to us that's really important. But if you're just starting out, those are the 2. But I am doing a fair bit on Twitter. I actually am in the process of writing my book, which will be out by the mid of 2016, which is on delivering well, which is speaking to developing an amazing culture, developing your systems, and also your brand. So, for that part of my business, I have, I've been practicing for 16 years, and I am evolving, and I have a lot of value to share. And so lots of that value now is on my Delivering Well Twitter page. And to me, that's a different target and a different objective. I'm doing a lot of stuff on Twitter, and I'm also really big in LinkedIn as well. But that's with my Delivering Well, because that's a different audience. That's people who are looking for articles to help grow their businesses. So if you're that business owner that wants to really get to know more about how to take your practice to the next level, follow me on LinkedIn. I know Howard's on LinkedIn. There's so many people that are on LinkedIn that can help you achieve your goals. But, I'm not sure if LinkedIn is the right strategy for your dental practice to put it out to patients. I'm not really sure. I haven't really seen a great result with that sort of thing.
But I was the first social media in dentistry with Dental Town in 1998. You probably weren't even born yet. And we had 1,000 dentists sign up the first month. So I really hope you do all those social medias except the original one with me on Dental Town. I hope you put up that Delivering Well. I think that message will be huge. I want to ask you 2 specifics. The reason Facebook is the largest of all the social medias is because Mark Zuckerberg was born from a dad who was a dentist, Ed Zuckerberg. Right. And he was on as this podcast, and he said that he thought the most overlooked missed opportunity on Facebook was having your patients check in when they come to your office, because when they check in, all their friends see it. Do you do that, or do you believe that, or what are your thoughts on using Facebook and having them check in?
I think it's really great. We actually don't do check-in. I'm outside of the United States, so there are some different guidelines of what you can actually do in terms of these things internationally. So I have not been able to at this point, or maybe things have changed and now I can do it.
All you gotta do is send me an email, and I'll reply to Ed Zuckerberg. And he'll have Mark will see the email within 3 minutes, and if it's a rational, if Ed Zuckerberg thought, oh wow, that shouldn't be that way, it would be changed in 2 minutes. You might be the founding father of that. Right. And I want you to end on. I only got you for 2 more minutes, and you just said something that's so profound and so went over everyone's head, and that is giving a new patient an office tour. I can't tell you how only the cream of the crop does that, and how it's so associated with all the mega successful practices. So close with why do you do a new office tour, and specifically who does it, how long does it last, why do you do this, how do you do that?
Right. Howard, it's always about, making yourself unique. And if you do something different, people are going to take notice. And, in terms of who does it, it's actually my dental assistants when they're going to walk the patient to the back. to have their cleaning done or their procedure, what would be a new patient. So it's actually my dental assistants that do it. But again, it's always about being unique. That's unique. Offering the hand massage is unique. What we're doing on Facebook is unique. You always want to be different. And, one mistake that dentists make when they're doing advertising is they actually say, I do cleanings, I do fillings, I do root canals, and they talk about that. And I mean, you're a dentist, you're supposed to be doing those things, right?
Yeah.
So what we talk about in our marketing is, what makes us unique, your experience, and, you'll have peace of mind with your dental work. And we talk about those things, and that's what really, draws people to us and allows you to have amazing raving fans that will help to grow your business for you.
Did you know in the state of California, in the book, the economic book, Freakonomics, in the state of California, there are registered births. There are over, the name unique is registered over 276 different ways. And what does the dentist come back with? We do cleanings, x-rays, and exams. Come on, come on. Mothers can spell unique 276 different ways. You got to be unique. And you are the most unique, the most special. And I lectured in, I can't remember when I lectured in Jamaica, but it was at I think it was the AACD meeting, and I was in a resort there. Oh my God, that is the most beautiful island. Can we go to overtime just for a minute? Because a lot of our viewers in the United States, how many people live in Jamaica? How many dentists are there? You've practiced in the United States and Jamaica. Do they use water fluoridation? Tell us what it's like being a dentist in Jamaica.
Right. So there are actually 3 million people that live in the country.
3 million.
3 million, and there are 300 dentists, and it's really interesting. Things are yes, it's really interesting because what I love about it, which honestly, is that patients here really really own their dental work, and so it's not about what is my insurance going to pay. It's about what do I need, and how is it going to benefit me, and how will it help me. And I really, I'm so happy and fortunate to be in a country that has that sort of culture, about doing things because you need it.
The United States has a dentist for every 1,850 people. Let's round that off to 1 in 2,000. You just said 300 for 3 million. So that's one dentist for every 10,000. Did I do my math right? So,
right.
so is it a lot more demand for a dentist in a country with one dentist for every 10,000 versus in a country of one dentist for every 2,000?
It's very interesting. I mean, it is a third world country, and so what you find is that you have a lot of people who are really aware of the benefits of dentistry, and you have a lot of people that really take emergency treatment only, or only go when things are really hurting. But I mean, there is definitely enough demand. I've been able to really create something really unique, and even with that, we have a lot of new patients. Our practice is growing. So it's really cool.
Okay, well, you go home tonight and you tell your husband no more hand and arm massages until he does the podcast.
Right.
I would love to have you. I mean, you know how rare an oral surgeon online CE course is? I mean, you ask him to do that and they say, dude, I'm booked 3 months in advance. I don't even have time to breathe. But hey, it was an amazing hour. Thank you for all your amazing energy, your amazing karma. I really think if you did an online deal, by the way, when you come out with your book, next month, Dental Town is launching its audiobook. So you can be able to, you could do the audiobook and put on the audiobook for free, just so everybody listens, to build your brand, or you could charge, or you could, just like Kendall, you could sell it on Dental Town. But thank you so much for all that you do for dentistry. Thank you so much for all that you do for dentistry in general. I just think you're an amazing person. It was an honor to interview you.
Thanks so much, Howard. And I just want to share one more thing. If any dentists want to, continue to follow me to learn more, they can go to my, my speaking and consulting website, which is deliveringwow.com. I do lots of blogs on there and share lots of useful tips, to really help dentists take their practices to the next level.
But I think that I've been on your website and spent a lot of time. I think the only problem is everybody's going to go to your website and say, well, hell yeah, if I look that hot, I'd be successful too. I'm a short, fat, bald guy. Does it really work for ugly people?
It's about value, Howard. You know that.
It's about your karma, isn't it? It's about your energy. And you are wow. Thank you for delivering wow with me today for an hour.
Thanks so much for having me, Howard.
All
Take
right,
care.
bye-bye.